So good morning students, and once again back to today's class. We'll take off from where we had left off in our last class, that is input devices. We were studying about the various types of input devices which we have in computers. Now in my last class, I had shared the screen with you and I had displayed to you some of the input devices like the keyboard, the mouse, joystick, and I'd also explain their working. So once again, without wasting much time, I'd like to share the screen and we'll pick up from the last topic, that was the QR code. Now we'll start with the QR code, and remember the QR code is a code, it is not an input device. It is a code which can be interpreted, and most of you are familiar with this QR code being used on the various ATM machines, etc., where you do your money transactions for purchasing different products. So let us share the screen. And I'll open out directly to the page which is displaying the QR code. As in my last class, I'd explained to you this code, and then we'll move little further. So as you all know that this particular red color boxes in any QR code is called as the finder pattern. It identifies the QR code. Then in the yellow color which you have, this is your format information. The black color dots or bars, this is your data. Every QR code, remember, will have a different set of data and will have a different finder pattern and format information. Then comes the timing pattern. This is your timing pattern. We will study about this later on over here in blue color. You just remember for now, this is your timing pattern. Here, another box you will see is quite different in color and shape from these three boxes. And in each QR code, you will have this box of a different size and at a different position. So this box is called as your alignment pattern. Then you have the version information over here. Quiet zone, this is your quiet zone. And again you have on this particular line a decodable version for the QR code. So that is all you need to know as far as a QR code is concerned. We will not go much into detail. You just need to know that a QR code is generally scanned with the help of any device having this software installed in it. You are all familiar with your mobiles, and all of you have scanned this QR code many a times to purchase products at different shopping malls or shops, or make payments even at different franchise outlets. So this is one and the same thing. Every shopkeeper has a unique QR code displayed. You scan it, and once you make a transaction and your payment, that money goes into that particular bank account, whichever is linked along with this particular QR code. That was as regards the QR code. This is also another little picture where I had explained to you about the QR code, but it is basically the same thing as it is telling you in the previous picture which I had displayed. Again, this is your dead space, this is your positioning markers, this is your version information over here, and this is your alignment marker that lets the reader access the codes viewed on an angle, this particular dot. Then you have your format information, and of course the black and white structure of dots is called as the information or the data which needs to be scanned. That was as regards QR code. The next device on your screen is called as the OCR Pen. That is the Optical Character Reader. Now I'm displaying it to you closely. You can see over here, this is in the form of a pen. Now this OCR basically is used when you want to read or convert any text matter or even a picture into digital format. Many a times we don't have the time to convert books and magazines and a whole lot of written information. So now what we do is we use this device which is called as the Optical Character Recognizer or the Optical Character Reader. It is a pen-like structure, as you can see over here. I'll display in another diagram, it will be more clear to you. And as you move this over this particular writing or even image, it will scan it, convert it into digital information and store it onto your computer. So without you having to type each and every line, this information is scanned. This is very helpful when you are scanning any types of magazines or books and converting them into digitalized information. So that is the OCR pen reader. This is another picture of it. I like to blow it up a little and show it to you. So this is your pen reader. This is your battery over here. You can see a 200 mAh battery which supports 7 days of typical usage. The battery is stored over here. This is a portable device. It has a Bluetooth and a USB which can be attached over here. This gives a little verification of the size and the weight. You can get different sizes and weights of these different types of scan makers, as you call it, or the OCR, that is the Optical Character Reader, also it is called as, right? Then here you have the wireless connectivity with Bluetooth, and it can be installed on any OS, that is Windows operating system also it is compatible with. It is compatible with Macintosh, and it is also compatible with iOS or Android. You all know most of your mobile devices are either based Android or using iOS. And most of your computers, as you all know, the operating system is Windows or then Macintosh if you got an Apple mobile laptop or a computer. So these are the operating systems, and this Bluetooth device is compatible with any of these operating systems which are installed on your system or even on your mobile in the form of iOS or Android based. This is your simple scanning. It is a transparent little tip over here, so it does not obstruct anything. You can read also at the same time while you are scanning. And over here it has a smart OCR, and it encodes, there's an encoder which is fitted over here. So as you move this surface, this surface along the sheet or the picture or the image, it will be able to scan it. So this is a pen-like device. There is another type of an OCR device also, optical character reader, which I'm going to show and display to you. This is in the form of a book reader. You can see it like a barcode it is. So it's a little different size. This is used anytime if you want to scan a full picture. And it has two different types of formats over here. That is for PDF formats, and it also scans for JPEG. So here, this is a different example of also an OCR reader or an OCR recognizer. Anytime you have music notations, you can scan it, or you can scan a picture, or you can scan a book or a magazine. Then you need this type of a device. Here, I'll display to you once again so that all of you know. As you can see, this shows the file format, which says you can have JPEG or PDF. This is your scanning indicator, which lights up here, and this shows your scan. This is your error indicator. If there is an error anytime that is occurring, then this part will light up over here. Then here you have your switch, which is meant to be put on and off for the scan button. You can put this off and on whenever you wish to. If you want to stop scanning, then you have the switch over here. Here is a format. You want to format your particular device and blank it. Then you have a format button over here. Like in a pen drive, you can format it. Then you have a SD card slot. You can attach a SD card in this. An additional card, memory card, can be attached within this slot. If you are finding that the memory space of this is running low and you want to boost the memory, then you have an enhancement where you can additional supporting cards can be installed into this particular slot. Then this is your USB port. This can be attached to any device. It can be used both as a charging and as well as for transferring data into any other device, maybe a mobile or maybe even your laptop or your computer. And at the same time, this can also be used for charging. And then you have your time set here. This is a time set you can see over here, and the DPI setting over here. DPI means dot per inch. This is the clarity. If you have to set it on a little deeper clarity, you want more clarity, then you'll have to increase the DPI. But remember that when you increase the DPI, the size of the file also increases. So depending on your requirement, one should set the DPI. It is okay if you're scanning a picture, then in that case there is no problem. Then you want to set the DPI setting. But if you're doing just an ordinary text, you need not increase this DPI setting because it will be clear enough. So remember that when you increase the DPI setting, the size of the file that will be stored also will increase. So accordingly, whenever you use this type of a OCR, then you need to accordingly make the settings. The next device is the OMR reader. Now these students, all these devices you have studied in class 5 also. But I'm just trying to brief you with all these devices. You may not have seen this working and functioning, and you may not have been even displayed all these devices, but you need not worry. This device is basically an optical mark reader. Now, optical mark readers are generally used when we have to do corrections of OMR sheets. Most competitive exams which are conducted, whether you talk of the IIT, JEE mains, or you talk of the medical exams, or you talk of any type of competitive exam, they are all attempted nowadays on this OMR type of a sheet. And all the student does is blacken the sheet, and accordingly once the dots are blackened over here, you can see, I'll display the sheet to you. Then this sheets, as you can see, are loaded into this input tray of this device. This is an optical mark reader. Here is the input tray adjustment. This is a display LED which shows you how many number of sheets. However, the answer which is fed in is already fed in into the computer software, and from the software, this device, once it interprets all these different marks over here, it translates this, whatever the marks, whatever black color dots you have created or blacken the dots on that sheet, this is then transferred and matched with the software which is already been installed, the correct answer key code which has been installed through a software in your computer. And as soon as it matches the correct answer, it will mark the answer correct. Else, if the dot does not match with those that are fed into the computer, then it gives you a minus mark or a 0 mark. So this is automatically checked. You need not check each sheet manually. You check these sheets. As soon as you feed this into this particular device, this device is able to identify the marks, and then the impulse is transferred, matched with the software which is present in the computer or the laptop, and then it is reversed back, and accordingly the marks are tabulated. That is how the OMR sheet reader works. Here you have a whole lot of adjustment panels as well as an LCD panel. You can see it displays the number of sheets that have been stored in 100, 200, 500, and what is the timing you want each sheet to be scanned in. And if there is any error, then that sheet is also rejected and thrown out of this particular device. Sometimes students put wrong marks or put the wrong dots or blacken the wrong circles. Then in that case, those types of sheets which are found with any type of wrong information, they are dispensed out of this particular device. So it also has that facility. Here is an example of what your OMR sheet looks like. So you can see over here, these are the different dots I was talking about. Excuse me. You can see over here you have a QR code also to scan it. You have a barcode also. And at the same time, these are the dots which are read by the OMR sheet. These dots are blackened, and in the sequence that they are blackened and colored, they are read by this OMR reader. So this is the sheet which you will see in any of the competitive exams. Many of you may have given some types of science Olympiads or maths Olympiads. In those Olympiads also, we give you this type of answer sheet where you are supposed to mark the correct answer as an objective A, B, C or D. Or then any other competitive exam in the future, you will be getting this type of sheet. You don't get descriptive answer sheets. So once again, I'm displaying it for your information. I'll try to make it a little larger. So you can see over here what it looks like. I won't go much into detail of all this. I just want to show you that this is what the sheet looks like. And I'll just reverse back once again and show you the device which is called the Optical Mark Reader. So here is the Optical Mark Reader, what type of device it is. You can see this is the output tray, this is the power switch, this is the answer key top here also. Then it has an LCD panel over here, as you can see, with the timing, number of sheets, input adjustment tray, and many other things. And here you put your sheet in through. So this is an example of your Optical Mark Reader. And this is how it functions. You collect the answer sheets from the candidates. Then they go into the Optical Mark Reader, scan all the answer sheets into the scanner. Then it is transferred into the computer which has the software. And for evaluation, I told you that this device only scans it. The coding and whatever software you have stored the answer key, that is in the computer. This device will only scan the dots. It does not have a software which will interpret the dots. The software is in the computer, it has to be attached to the computer. So by itself it does not function. It only scans the position of the dots. That is what is important for everybody to know. It scans the position. Then you start the LSoft OMR software and evaluate. This is one example of a software, LSoft. This software is installed. Once these dots are scanned in this OMR optical mark reader, they are tabulated, and after scanning, you get the view printed results offline or online. So this is the functioning of an optical mark reader. Next is touch screens. And most of you are familiar with the touch screen devices. You have seen these devices at the ATM machine, or the most common you all are using in your home, your mobile phone. All of you have a mobile phone which is a touch screen device. You have even your tablet which is a touch screen device, or even nowadays your laptops are all touch screen. So as the generation is progressing, high tech, more and more touchscreen devices are being invented. So I need not elaborate much, but then just to show you all that these are some of the examples of your different types of touchscreen devices, right? You have a tab over here, you have a mobile over here, you have a large touchscreen over here, you even get TVs which are touchscreen devices. So touchscreen devices can be anything which works with the input or with the touch of the user on that particular device. So when you make contact on a particular icon on that particular device, that icon interacts and opens up or gives you the command or gives you the output, and that is called as a touchscreen device. So I won't go much into detail because I know all of you have seen these touchscreen devices. Another example I'm just showing you, even on your camcorders you can see nowadays that you have a touchscreen device. This is an example of a tablet, a gaming machine, a computer, your mobile phones. So these are different examples of touchscreen devices. Then the next device, input device, is your touchpad. All of you may have seen this touchpad on your laptop. It is a very simple device. I won't waste much time. It just has the left click, right click, and this is your touchpad. You all know when you're using a laptop and you want to move you just move your finger over here and your cursor will move around on the screen. So this is a touchpad which you call it, and this is generally attached to your laptop. Another example of the touchpad, and you can see over here, this is the left mouse button, as you would call it. This is the right, this is the scroll section, and this is the touch sensitive pad. So that is all you need to know about the touchpad. It is not a very integrated typical device. It is a very simple device, and most of you are very comfortable using this type of device on your laptops. Now here is an example of your next digital device, which is a digital camera. Digital cameras are also input devices because they are used for capturing images and transferring them onto the computer. Now this is the most common. You can see in everybody's home, everyone must be having this type of a digital camera. I'll show you the next one, which is a label diagram, and elaborate a little as to. So here you see, this is an example of a digital camera. Now this camera may be of a different model. You may have a different model. This is a Canon camera. It's a little high-end camera, but it doesn't matter. All touchscreen digital cameras or digital cameras running or working have the same functioning as it would be. So first of all, you have your flash over here. You can see the flash. This is your flash button. You click on this and this flash opens up. This is your lens focus mode switch. Here's a switch which helps you to focus your lens. This is your lens, as you can see. This zooms in and zooms out. So when you have this lens focus, you want to focus better, you can zoom in your lens and zoom it out accordingly with the help of the lens focus switch. Then you have the lens release button also over here. This, of course, you can see is your lens and your shutter button and your main dial. On the back side of this, you can see over here is your LCD display. As you can all see it, you can see the LCD display over here, and you have your play button here and the erase button over here. So if you want to erase anything, then you click on this button. If you want to play something, you click here. These are the two buttons on the back end of this camera. This is the front side, and this is the same camera from the rear end. Then these are the cross keys and your power switch. Here you have your viewfinder through which you look, and if you want to zoom in, zoom out, or whatever type of photograph you want to take, you have your viewfinder over here. That is, helps you to accordingly adjust. You can also see it over here, but then with the viewfinder, sometimes we get a better picture. So this is what is a digital camera about. So once again, digital cameras, this is your flash, this is your mode dial, main dial, and your shutter button, along with the flash button, the lens focus mode switch, lens release button, and the lens. This comes in the front side of the camera, while on the back end of the camera you have the viewfinder, you have the LCD display, you have the power switch, and you have the cross keys for making any type of editing, deleting, or playing your particular video or even your still pictures. You can take videos as well as still pictures, you all know that, with the help of the digital camera, and you can delete it if you don't find it appropriate. That is the beauty in digital cameras, that you can click as many pictures as you wish to, and if you don't find them appropriate, then you need not upload them, you can just delete them. This is a simple web camera which all of you may have seen attached to your computers. If you got, of course, nowadays the latest computers, you have this inbuilt into your system. Laptops have it inbuilt, but then if the old PCs, you needed to buy one of this. This is also a type of an input device. And last of all, you have your biometric devices. So biometric devices nowadays are very useful and are being used to a large extent. Now, biometric devices are basically different types of devices. I'll come to that. So you can see over here, this is the vein scanner. This is the face time scanner. This is the fingerprint scanner. This is an iris scanner, which is meant for the eyes. And the face recognition scanner. So you have different types of biometric devices. Some are there to take or scan your fingerprints. Some are there to scan your eyes, the lenses in your eyes. Some are there to recognize your face. And there are other scanners which also recognize your voice, etc. So I'll just come to that and I'll elaborate on this and show you types of biometrics So they are basically divided nowadays into physiological and behavioral. The physiological features, that is your face scanner, which scans your face. Then you have your fingerprint scanner, which scans your fingerprint. You need to either your thumb impression or then your forefingers. You need to apply it with pressure on the device. It will scan the marks of your different fingers. You have lines on your fingers, it scans it, and everybody has a unique fingerprint. So this is scanned for the fingerprint scanner. Then you have your hand scanner. You have an iris scanner. Iris scanners are those scanners which scan the eyeballs. Your eyes, you have to go and place your eyes, and everybody has a unique pattern, color, and combination within his eye. So this is called as the iris scanner. And last of all, you have your DNA scanner. So these are some of the scanners which are the physiological scanners. Then you have your behavioral scanners, which is called as your keystroke scanner or your signature scanner also, and your voice scanner. So two categories of biometric devices, and these are the different categories in which they are divided. So depending on whatever device your institution or your company or whoever wants to install, he will buy that type of scanner which is available in the market. These are some of the types of scanners which most of the organizations nowadays have installed into their own setups. So whether you enter into any organization, MNC, company, or even into your school, you are scanned for your face or you are scanned for your fingerprints to know that you are the genuine person. So these are biometrics scanners. Another example of biometric scanner, I'll just elaborate this. Like I told you, fingerprint scanner, this is the thumb, this is scanning your hand, iris scanner scanning your eyes, face scanner recognizing your face, and your DNA scanner. And then you have your behavioral scanner, which is the keystroke scanner, the signature scanner, and the voice scanner. So students, this is all about input devices. I've tried to touch on practically all the input devices which are taught to you in class 5, as well as I have added a few of them to explain to you, because some of these may be included in class 6 also. So when you are studying, yes, we are doing a revision of class 5 work also. So along with explaining about the different types of input devices which you have already studied in class 5, I also want you to keep your 6th class book with you, and you can also read through those different types of input devices which are there in this chapter. In my next class, I'll be coming with output devices, the different types of output devices which are categorized. There are printers, there are plotters, there are LCD projectors, and there are monitors. So we will categorize these, and I'll give you a little insight into these different types of output devices in my next class. So that's all for now. Please bear with my throat because my throat is not very good, I know. So please bear with my voice. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hope to see you all soon. Thank you, and that's all for now.